killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris RZR, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
All right, we got one heck of a big show lined up today on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Jim Beaver. Amy Hood joining me. She's only here for maybe 20 minutes today. She's heading to Mexico.
I know.
She is currently in an airport somewhere, I believe San Diego. So if you hear some background noise, it's because she's checking out for a while. And I don't know, you're just a North American. You're not you're not a Canadian. You're not an American. You're just a North American. Mexico, Canada, whatever. You claim them all, right?
I am a gypsy, yes, you're very right. But, I mean, it's my birthday, Jim. I'm almost reaching that, big 21 again. This will be the 8th year in a row that I turned 21. But, yeah, I'm taking myself to Mexico. I'm excited. I got 1 week off of Monster Jam, so you better believe that I'm going to go sit on a beach with a cerveza in my hand.
So where in Mexico are you going? I don't even know. We got a lot of motorsports to talk about today. We don't even know where the heck you're going in Mexico.
I'm going to Puerto Vallarta, so
okay. I'm
actually kind of in the looking to find some type of adventure trip where I can ride a dirt bike on a beach. So, yeah, I might be going on holidays, but I'm going to try to find something motorized that I can have some adventures on. Or else I'm just going to go get a scooter and go do some off-roading and some extreme scootering. So, one of the two.
That might be even more fun, but
I know, right?
Yeah. So, today's guest, man, it is a big show. We got off-road legend, and I mean legend, Rob MacCachren, the off-road Hall of Famer, who is still competing and still destroying everybody. He is back, reigning Mint 400 champ. That's coming up next weekend, but Rob Mac on the show today. And then we've got some big announcements. My 2018 Polaris RZR Star Car teammates in the Mint 400, Antron Brown and Steve Torrence, both on the line. Steve Torrence actually took the win in Phoenix this past weekend. We've got them. We got GRC, Supercross, and a whole lot more to talk about this week on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. We got a lot to talk about. We only got Amy for a short amount of time. A number one, obviously we just said in the intro, you guys have seen the graphic, Antron Brown, Steve Torrence joining me in the Polaris Razor Star Car at the Mint 400. I'm going to talk about that a little more in the next segment. And we've got Steve and Antron both on. Rob Mack coming up in the show. But we got so much to talk about, just a little bit of time with Amy here. I do want to touch on one thing. You teased it on your Instagram stories. It's something you and I have been working on for like a year now. But we got to bring it up today because it's coming. Like literally, I was thinking like we're like 3 weeks out. But Amy, so we've got the Down and Dirty Radio Show that I host and Amy hosts with me. I've got my own show, Project Action. Now, this thing's gotten so big, we're giving Amy her own show. So tell us a little bit about what's going on there, Hood.
Dang it. I didn't know we were dropping the ball today, Jim, but I guess I can catch out of the bag. I did a little bit of a teaser, but my updated graphic actually has radio show at the bottom. But a huge thanks to you, Jim, honestly, for helping me get this off the ground and kind of giving me that little boost. But I am starting my own radio show. It's called Amy Hood's Wild Ones. So it's going to be really similar to kind of what we, the guests that we have on the Down and Dirty Show. But instead of recapping, race events and highlights, I want to find out and talk a little bit more of the behind-the-scenes life of action sports athletes and, the wild ones of our industry and kind of what drives them, what motivates them, and all the crazy wild stories along the way. So, the tour life, getting stuck in airports, hotels, like stuff that we, you and I talk about personally. But the cool thing about the show is that, a lot of these athletes I actually grew up with. So, we got a little bit of a personal connection. We can flow a little bit more. It's going to be lots of fun, and I cannot wait. And we're definitely going to have some big names on the show, some of the wildest and coolest, entertainers and professional athletes in the business. So I am super stoked. And again, I can't thank you, Jim, enough for really helping me get this off the ground.
Yeah, it's going to be rad. I'm excited too.
Talking about it, I'm all pumped.
Yeah, so so we've already got some plans in motion. We're going to talk about it the next couple of weeks. So the way our schedule works, Amy and I will do the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Tuesdays. Amy will drop her show on Wednesdays, and then I'll drop Project Action on Thursdays. So you guys are going to be like, I don't know. We've got your week covered between Amy and I. I think it's going to be fun. Lots of content between her and I. We're going to have so many different types of guests on air between the three shows, and I think it's going to be rad. We've got like our own little network going on here, Hood. I like it.
I was just going to say we need our own network. We're going to have to drop our own TV network.
Yeah.
It's all coming into one, and it's really cool how we can utilize each other, for all three shows.
Yeah.
And I just think, obviously, the Wild Ones is going to be my baby, and we're going to spend lots of time kind of getting to the heart and the core of all these athletes. So I'm stoked. It's going to be wild, to say the least.
So I gotta ask you now, and I saw it yesterday, and then I started looking today, and I signed up today. Social media, Snapchat's kind of gone away. I know I think like some high schoolers still using stuff, but it's gone away. And everybody thought that was the next big social media thing. But now with Instagram stories, it's kind of gone off the grid, right? Well, there's some deal, I guess, been out for
the gram is what it's all about.
Yeah, well, I guess there's some new social network called Vero, and it's a lot like Instagram, but it's actually kind of better. I never heard of it. All of a sudden in the past week, it's like the number one app in the entire app store for Apple. And then Carrie Hart started posting about it. Street Bike Tommy started posting about it. Like all these big name, social influencers. And I'm like, well, what the heck? So I download it, and like there's a massive amount of people on there, and it's kind of like Instagram. So I'm on there as of about an hour ago. I'm still playing with it just to see what happens, but I didn't want somebody to steal my screen name, so I figured I better just grab it anyways, because that does happen from time to time.
What's the difference between Instagram and this one, though? What's the big difference? Because Instagram's obviously already a really huge platform. I'm sorry, but I ain't going to change a good thing. I don't got Snapchat. I don't use Twitter. I don't use Facebook. I am an Instagram till I die. And everybody used to get mad at me because I'd post on Instagram stories instead of using Snapchat. And I'm like, you know what? Instagram is a one-stop shop for all my social media needs. I ain't changing. And, I think this is a fad. Obviously, it's going to be the number one app if it's something new that came out just like Snapchat. But everyone already has something on one social media platform. Like, I don't want to go back and forth for one and another. And now people with big followings are going to have to regrow their followings, right? So
you just got verified on Instagram, so you're like pissed. You're like, don't make me go someplace else. I finally got verified.
Exactly. You know what? Screw it. I'm staying on Instagram. But what's the big difference?
You can actually share. So the sharing part is easier, and I'm still figuring it out. I've only been on there an hour, but you can actually share music. Like if you're listening into stuff, like you can share music with people. You can share movies with people. You can actually share links.
That's kind of cool.
So like if you want to link to YouTube, you throw up a video and you can embed the link there, so people don't have to go to your profile and click on it. There is some cool stuff, and it's one of those where I'm sure Instagram will be like, oh yeah, we can do that too, and then it'll make this app obsolete. So, but it's pretty rad.
I don't know. I just think that I know, but they were using Twitter, to be able to have those clickable links in, and Twitter's still really big within like news channels, politics. Even professional athletes and things like Entertainment Tonight or FS1, and they keep it short and sweet, right? I just think, I haven't been able to find another, company that can really compete with Instagram. And, they tried with Vine, they tried with Snapchat, and everything, Instagram evolved and kind of adapted and still took over and prevailed. I just think that why mess with a good thing? I got verified. I ain't leaving. Sorry. I don't care. I'm not downloading it. I downloaded Snapchat for a day.
I had Snapchat. I don't use mine at all. That was like, I don't know, that's beyond me. I'm like, that's the dumbest app ever. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Like, and I'm sure we've got listeners that are like ride or die with Snapchat. I'm sorry. Like, I can't do it. I log in there and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it's so not.
Oh my God, Jim.
Yeah,
But that's the cool. Like, that's the thing though. Everyone kind of jumps on the bandwagon right away. And then realizes, oh, you know what, I'm just going to go with the same app that I've been using all the time. I want to post once, not 17 times, and it is what it is. Bing, bang, boom.
I'm still on Facebook. I'm like at 97,000. I'm almost ready to clip 100K on Facebook. So I'm like, might happen in the next month with the way things are going. So I'm like, I can't bail on Facebook yet. Sorry. I hate that.
Hell yeah.
I hate that the reach has gone in the toilet. But I don't know. You and I put that graphic together. We didn't make it public. I shared it with some people internally. I think last year, us combined, we hit 140 million people on social media between you and I. That's crazy numbers. That's 140 million people.
And last year was a lot different. Like this year, especially with the Eyes on Monster Jam, the daily impressions are reaching and weekly impressions are reaching 2 million. So I mean, it's just going to grow. Like
I bet we can double that together this year. I bet we can hit 300 million between the two of us, hands down.
Dude, let's triple it. Let's do it.
Let's go for 500K or 500 million. You think we can do it?
Yeah.
All right. That's our goal, December 31st, 500 million impressions on social media between the two of us.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right. So
Challenge accepted.
we'll see what we can do. But
How much time do we have here to chat? I want to recover. I want to talk about Austin.
All right. Well,
man.
How
much time do we got here?
Okay, we're going to take a short break. We'll bail out right now. We'll take a short break, and then we come back. We got like 12 minutes to talk about it. So.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right. Well, Amy and I, we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We got Supercross, and we got a ton of people tuning in on Facebook Live right now, and they're chiming in about social media. So if you guys got questions on Supercross, hit us up. I'm reading the comments, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antron Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at JimBeaver15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Before we get to talking some Supercross, I got to talk real quick about our good friends at Amsoil, and they're giving away a trip to the Indy 500, and it's not just any trip, it's the ultimate Indy 500 fan experience. That's exactly what Amsoil, makers some of the best synthetic motor oils on the planet, is giving away this spring. One grand prize winner will win the trip of a lifetime to the Indy 500 to watch some of the fastest cars and best drivers battle to have their names etched alongside the greats like Foyt, Andretti, and Unser. But that's not all. Listen to what else awaits the grand prize winner. You'll get pit access, dinner with an Indy 500 legend, VIP track access, suite access to watch the race, a grand in cash, round-trip airfare for 2, hotel accommodations for 5 nights, ground transportation, and chance to meet the drivers. And just like what they do when they're making high-performance synthetic motor oils, AMSO went the extra mile with the sweepstakes. If that's not enough, 10 first-place winners will receive one free digital download code for Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. To enter the AMSO Ultimate Indy 500 fan experience, text INDY, that's I-N-D-Y, to 41487. That's INDY, I-N-D-Y, to 41487, or visit amso.com/Indy. All right, speaking of AMSO or Monster Energy Supercross, Amy Hood, we had some Supercross going on in Tampa. I didn't get a chance to watch a ton of it. I
watched a lot of it for once.
Yeah, I was at a bachelor party.
I had only a 2-show weekend. You were?
Yeah, in a like a party bus limo thing. Had the full on stripper pole and everything. It's pretty rad.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
No. Yes, but I mean, if you haven't watched Supercross, things are getting heated. We're kind of getting to the last round here. Like, in, all the sports, Monster Jam, Supercross, Arena Cross, Snowcross. March kind of is that epitome of the season's coming to an end. You're, reaching the end of our, indoor motorsport seasons, and it's kind of sad, but then that means the heat is kind of turned up. This is where everybody turns that dial up just a little bit. They kind of let it all hang out. Definitely what's happening in Monster Jam. Like, we're kind of having head-to-head rivals, going into the final rounds with our points. So everybody is just trying to step it up, and carnage is at full force, and it's been really wild for the Monster Jam season. But, the same goes for Supercross. I mean, unfortunately, Cole Seeley in 450 class, he suffered an injury, and I think he was sitting third in points. But it was just confirmed that he did break his pelvis and his tailbone. So, I mean, really devastating. He was having a solid year. Everyone loves Cole Seeley. He's kind of turning into that new redheaded ginger Supercross 450 class. Come on, help me out here.
The redheaded ginger?
Yes.
I'm kind of just quiet because it's funny listening to you.
You know who I'm talking about, the one that we all know and love. But, Cole Seeley's kind of turning into that All-American. You can never hate him. You always got to love him. But it's just too bad. It's at the end of the year. Outdoors is right around the corner. It was noted that Ken Roxon's going to be lining up for Outdoors. But the heat, man, in the East Coast is the 250 class. It is stacked, and I have to hand it out, and we really need to get him on the show, is Austin Faulkner. I mean, the kid is making his debut Supercross year. He's sitting second in the points, and I think he's only 4 or 5 points behind Zach Osborne. That is huge, and I love Zach Osborne. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, we talk about it every week on the show. We compare his battle royale and how he hangs it out all on the line, but I mean, I love the young guns. I love the young up-and-coming talent who, Austin kind of flew under the radar for his amateur career. And then comes to Supercross being this young, quiet, very social public kid who is just slaying it. And, I mean, who does not want to, love to see that? And I think, if this kid can clench a 250 Supercross title his first year, it just speaks volumes for, kind of becoming that new Ryan Villapoto, Ryan Dungey, one of those alpha riders who's just really going to come in and dominate. So, it's been pretty interesting, Jim. You missed a good one.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited they moved to the East Coast. I mean, I was, especially with the 250s, because you get to see a bunch of guys in action that we hadn't at the start of the year with the 250 West.
Yeah.
And 250 East, I know, it's like with Supercross, we're starting to get with 450s, an idea of how the points battle's shaping up. And like you said, we've turned the corner now, right? Right around this time is kind of it's the season split. Now we're focusing kind of on the checkered flag for the whole season, and it's, 450s is shaping up, but it's I love the way they split 250s and, East and West, because, we've got a good idea what the 250 West looks like, but then, right now, we're just kind of a couple rounds into 250 East. It's we're still figuring it out, but like you said, Faulkner's been super, super impressive. And Zach Osborne, this guy, he's got the red plate. We talked last week about, his championship win last year, but I love these young guns, like you said, like Faulkner. And
I know, and you know what? I feel like this year, too, this is the first time that we've seen a lot of 250 and 450 riders switch it up. So, when a 250 guy is, like, not able to ride on the East Coast, he goes and rides the East or West Coast. He, switches it up and goes to the 450 class. And I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Hill made the pass on Marvin Muscat. And, like, Justin Hill is killing it right now in the 450, and he really struggles when he's on the 250. But, you have guys like Cooper and Justin, as soon as they jump onto that 450, they are just like, let it all hang out, and you can really see, them prevail a lot better on the 450. Like, some guys are really just built for that 450 opposed to the 250. Obviously Davalos, he's going to stay on a 250 for eternity and the rest of his life. But, Cooper and Hill have really found a lot of success on that 450 class. And Cooper right now, he had a rough start of the season. He was obviously injured and kind of started at the back of the pack and made his way up. He wanted to feel comfortable first year in 450s. But, he finished fourth this weekend. So, imagine him coming in next year or even in the 450 class for outdoors, healthy, rocking it from, the first race to the last. He's definitely in, contending for that a title, for an outdoor title or a 2019 Supercross title for sure. So, I mean, I'm excited. Like, at this time, we always hype up outdoors, but I can't wait to see what's, the opener of outdoors at Hangtown. I just really love to see that, the jump of, especially my friends. Like, I'm friends with Coop and friends with Hill. I like to see their success in the 450 class, especially. Like, they're doing good. They're killing it. It's good to see.
Yeah, well, and, we talk about it, too. You got all these young kids coming in, especially in 250s, and, it's always long-term. It's like, who's going to step up to 450s? And I feel like even if you win a championship at 18 or 19 in 250s, like, it's beneficial to you to stay there. One, you get the experience, but two, like, I'm looking at guys like, let's take Adam Cianciarulo, for instance, right? And we know the struggles he's gone through with injuries and stuff like that. But I look at Cianciarulo at 18 when he was racing 250s, and the guy was a twig.
Yeah.
And now he's but now he's
kind of, though.
Well, but he's got some meat on his bones, right? But I feel like just your body type, like, there's a difference between an 18-year-old kid and a 22 or 23-year-old rider in Supercross, right? And I feel like to be able to manhandle and compete in the 450s, I think there's that growth that needs to happen just because the bike's bigger, the competition, let's face it. I mean, there's some elbows that get a little bit wider when you're on a 450.
I agree. I definitely agree. Like, a lot more physically demanding, but also when you jump to that 450 class, you have the maturity of the rider. That's why Chad Reed was killing it. That's why the Ryan Dungys of the world were killing it. Even all these guys who, they've been in the 450 class for years. So they're very smart, technical riders. They know when to make their passes. They know what's kind of coming. And it's not like the bump and banging of the young guns in the 250 class. Like, it's a much more intelligent form of riding, I like to think. Like, it's almost like cool, calm, and calculated passes. Like, it's a lot different, and I think it takes physical growth and a maturity growth to be able to be very dominant in 450s. And look at the progression of Cooper Webb. Last year, he was just yippy yappy little, he loved to talk a lot of crap. He loved to just boast. And I think moving to the 450 class really humblized him. And he even listened and reading his interviews, you can tell that he is like a technical driver, like a technical rider now. Like, now he is, it's just like Ryan Dungey. We always talk about him being the locomotive. Like, he's thinking of the full season. He's thinking about a championship. He's thinking long-term and being very technical. So it's full circle.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, but, jumping from a 250 to a 450, you're doubling the amount of races. So your fitness level, I mean,
yes, exactly.
it's a long-ass season for these guys. It's a long season for these guys on 450s every single week. I mean, and I have an extreme appreciation for NASCAR drivers. You'll never it's not my cup of tea as far as motorsports, but they do 40-some races a year.
Appreciation for NASCAR.
What?
They sit in the car and they turn left.
Oh, come on, Hood.
Between NASCAR and motocross?
Well,
no way.
We got to get Ricky Carmichael or James Bubba Stewart on because they both tried NASCAR. You'll ask them. what they think. Ask Pastrana what he thinks. He went from, and he'll tell you it was the toughest motorsport he ever did.
No, I'm going to, yeah, I know. And, like, Camden Murphy, obviously driving Pirates Curse last year, I posted him and busted his balls a lot last year about, you know, the NASCAR deal. And, you know, he even told me, like, how physically demanding. And even when you talk about kind of doing, like, a Baja or the Mint and just how, like, mentally exhausting doing that, you know, duration of racing is. And, you know, you're like, hyper-focused on what you're doing compared to moto where you're, like, you know, you're flowing, it's everything kind of connects and stuff. It's very shorter durations of racing time. Like, I get it, but I'm always going to give NASCAR a lot of crap.
Well, I do too.
It's
just it is
NASCAR
what it is.
under the bus.
We can do that. At the end of the day, we all have a respect for them, though. I throw them under the bus all the time. Whatever, it's not my cup of tea. But yeah. So we got to take a short break, and we got an interview with Rob MacCachren coming up after the break.
On boarding.
Yeah. But, you have fun in Mexico. I'm sure we'll text while you're down there, and we'll have you back next week.
Cool, guys. Stay fit, have fun, and be safe.
Have
fun at the Mid-400.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
All right, that was Amy. She is off to Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, and I am stuck here getting everything ready for the Mint 400. But speaking of Mint 400, last year's champ, Rob MacCachren, he is coming up on the show after the break. Don't want to miss that one. Anytime the living legend Rob Mac's on, you know it's going to be golden. So Rob MacCachren coming up after the break right here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at KCHighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here. Got the legend Rob MacCachren calling in just a minute. Waiting on him. He is the reigning Mint 400 champion. And last I heard, Mint 400 coming up this weekend, something like 400 entries on the entry list. And then in addition to that, there's 175 on the wait list. That's like almost 600 off-road vehicles. That doesn't even count like dirt bikes and quads because they don't race the Mint 400. You know it'd be well over 600, be probably close to 700 if you add them in. Like, to me, that's just nuts for an off-road race. Like, wow, like just absolutely insane. But I'd like to welcome Rob MacCachren, Off-Road Hall of Famer, to the line. How's everything going, Rob?
It's good, Jim. How are you today?
Doing well, buddy. I was just talking about the Mint 400, man. I heard, last I heard count-wise, we're at 400 entries with 175 on the wait list. I mean, you're Las Vegas born and bred. That's a massive amount of people and spectators and everything else coming to the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah, it sure is. I obviously born here in Las Vegas. Used to go to the Mint 400 when my dad raced in the early 70s. And that's what I remember. I remember huge entries and just tons of people and a huge spectacle here in Las Vegas. And, Mad Media, the Martelli brothers, Best Desert, they've really been working on this race year after year, and it keeps growing and growing. And that's incredible. 475. There's a 400 maxed out, and then 175 on the waiting list. It's crazy. I think we really need multiple days of racing right now. There's 2 days or 2 races in the same day, but I think here in the future we might see multiple days of racing. I sure hope so.
Yeah, I could see like almost, Parker, they do it over 2 different weekends, they've got 2 races on like 2 weeks before the Parker 425 for UTVs, and then motorcycles and like multiple UTV races. And then they've got the split. Like I could almost see that like 2 days with 4 different, races actually happening at the Mint. I think it's getting big enough where it's really easy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been saying my 2 cents to both the guys at Best in Desert and Matt and Josh Martelli. I really think we could have 2 weekends back to back. One weekend could be motorcycles, UTVs, like you say, vintage classes, things like that. We could have a week-long festivities leading up to the second weekend with the bigger trophy trucks and things like that. I think it's definitely doable. It's going to take some work, but I think with the growth of off-road racing and, like I said, everything that Mad Media and Best in Desert are doing, that it can happen. I'd love to because, man, I get to race more. I'd love racing the UTV, getting one of those Polaris Razors and doing that, and then racing my trophy truck and maybe something else. If it's got wheels, I'd love to race. So hopefully they can work on that. I know it take a lot of effort to make all that happen, but I definitely think that the Mint 400 can handle it. Especially saying, there's that many people on the waiting list. And, I've been listening and hearing from different people, some of them not in the race, and they're really bummed. And, I know talking to Donald at Best in Desert and Daryl Folks and Matt and Josh that they want to try to do everything they can to get everybody in the race. But there are stipulations with BLM. There's timing, there's only so many hours in the day, things like that. So hopefully they can jump those hurdles here for the future, and we can all be racing more.
Yeah. Well, and talking about racing more, man, I'm just looking like Mid 400's coming up. We're prepping the Razor Star Car for that, and and I'm looking at it going, we got a week and a half left, and it doesn't matter how much, how early you get your vehicle done. It's like always something like you're like, oh man, I wish I had an extra week. But I'm looking at your schedule. You've got the Mint 400, you've got the Lucas Opener, you've got San Felipe, man. You guys at MacCachren Motorsports, man, you have a stretch there that's. You guys are pinned, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. We started off the year in Parker, 425, doing pretty well. Last lap, we were leading, ended up in the dust, running into the back of somebody, just getting into them a little bit when they were stuck. So I got stuck, and it took us out of the hunt for the win. We're looking for redemption at the Mint. We won the Mint overall last year. It was my first overall at the Mint. been leading many, many years. On the last lap and had issues, drive shaft failure, got a flat tire one year. We had a steering belt fall off another year. So, and then, like you said, moving into Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing the very next weekend after the Mint, racing there at Glen Helen, night racing, single night only this year at Glen Helen. So that should be super exciting. And then it's only, I think, 3 or 4 weeks later we'll be in San Felipe. So my schedule, it is what I do. I love doing it. And when I have a couple weekends off without racing, the second weekend I'm like scratching my head, itching to get racing again. So it's what we do. We got, six guys that work at the race shop in Southern California, getting everything ready. The Pro 2 is actually up here in Las Vegas where I live today on the chassis dyno at Kevin Croyer's. We'll be testing it on Thursday. Friday, the trophy truck will be up here in Vegas on the chassis dyno, and we'll be testing it on Friday afternoon, getting ready for the Mint. So, we've got a system going. I've got great people that work on the trucks. We've got, obviously great partners in our sponsors, that help us out along the way, and we want nothing more 2018 to be a successful year and try to get some more wins and championships.
Yeah. So, I know you're running the full Lucas schedule. You're doing the full score and the full Best in the Desert schedule as well?
We are running the full Lucas series. They're traveling. They're doing some new things this year. We're racing 5 of the events this year will be at night. So I think that'll help with the spectators, getting them out at night. So seems like the racers go a little more crazy at night. The trucks seem brighter, faster. So I'm excited about that. They're doing many different things, trying to get more fan interaction in the pits throughout this year. So we'll be doing the full Lucas series. And then as far as the trophy truck goes, in Best in Desert, we'll be racing, as I said already, we race Parker, we'll race the Mint, we'll race Vegas to Reno, and then with the Score series, we'll be racing San Felipe, the Baja 500, and the Baja 1000 this year.
Nice. Well, and I gotta ask. I was back there at Crandon this past year, and I know BF Goodrich has a massive involvement. You walk around, and there's Rob MacCachren pictures hanging on the walls and things like that. I know it was really special this last year with Carl going back to Crandon, but I gotta ask, that's as much your home as it is anybody's. Any chance in the next couple of years we see you guys back at Crandon?
Yeah, we want to go every year, and at the beginning of the year, we always lay down the schedule, see how many weeks we have in between races, and see what's doable. We had planned to go there last year in 2017 and run the Pro 4, but the months, and especially the weeks leading up to it, we had some issues happening in short course. Fell behind a little bit in the points, and we decided that the smart thing to do was to stay home and focus on trying to get championships in Lucas Oil and better opportunities for the trophy truck in the Desert Series. So we didn't go last year. I want to go every year. It's definitely an incredible place. Crandon, it's definitely one of my favorite short course tracks. I've been racing there, for a lot of years. Haven't been there though in the last 3 or 4 since we were racing back there. But I'd love to get back. It's always on the schedule. It's tentative this year. Kind of see how things go, and we'd love to be there. I know they're getting close. To the 50th, and I love the people back there, Cliff Flannery and everybody at the track. They put on an awesome event. If you haven't seen that, it's really a bucket list type thing. If you're a fan of off-road racing at all, and anyone that's gone there, when they come home, racing or not, they can't stop talking about it. And when it comes up in a conversation, it always gets the spark of energy. And anyone and everyone that's ever gone really has a good time. It's cool. It's a great place to go visit and watch races.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's definitely a bucket list, whether you're racing or not. But I know another bucket list for a lot of people, and you've kind of dabbled in it the last couple of years. We're going to talk King of the Hammers real quick, man, because you threw that in the mix in between all this other stuff as well. How I know you like a challenge, and it seems like whatever it is you like to. I know you're getting involved in the UTV stuff as well. But how is King of the Hammers? Because that's a lot of this stuff between short course and desert. You can kind of adapt back and forth, but you throw the rocks in, and that's a complete different element. How has that been for you in this transition into doing some Ultra 4 stuff?
Yeah, the Ultra 4, Dave Cole, everybody that King of the Hammers event's an incredible thing. I was fortunate enough in 2010 to get the opportunity to go drive somebody's vehicle, and I became addicted. The first time we went out there to go test, I don't remember jackhammer, sledgehammer, or something like that. It was my first rock crawling experience. And when we got in there, I'm like, you can't go that way. That's not passable. And they all chuckled and said, no, that's the way we go. And we're going to go that way. So, they showed me how to do it. And from that day, I dug it. I wanted to do it again. I've always wanted to put my own effort together and try to go win that King of the Hammer race, because it's for me, it seems so much harder to conquer, and especially win, let alone finish, than anything that I do. The Baja 1000 is tough, and an analogy that I say, the Baja 1000 has thousands of things that can reach out and grab you during the race. The King of the Hammers, their race has millions of things. To be at 5 miles an hour, and even less, trying to go up through a rock canyon when you're actually racing somebody door to door, side by side, and you have to have a lot of patience. You have to reel yourself back in. Normally, I'm used to, there's dust up there. Let's go. Let's drive 110% and go try past that guy. At Hammers, if you do that, you're going to break your car. And some of the things you have to go up, or the rock canyons and the drops that you have to go down, they're like, you got to drop off a school bus, or you got to climb up over a school bus. And so many people have gone and done it, and when they come home, they have, again, same thing as Cran. It brings a smile to your eye, to your mouth, and people can't stop talking about it. I know Johnny Greaves went this year with his son CJ in a UTV, and he was calling me a couple months out, and he'd known I'd been there and asking me some questions, and sometimes he asked some questions, I chuckle, and I like, you have no idea what you're gonna see and what you're gonna have to do. And when he was home, and just a week ago or so, I was texting back and forth, and I said to him, I go, do you miss it yet? And he goes, absolutely. We talk about it every day. So that's another bucket list event, whether it's to go watch or to go compete in. Every year it's growing. Dave Cole's done a tremendous job with that. Getting the publicity out there. It's crazy. I want to do it again. I've been fortunate enough to drive the last 2 years with Greg Adler. We finished both years, but just out of the top 10. And I want to win that thing. Now I finished it. It took me till my third time driving on my own so I could finish the race. And I soloed, and we got 13th. But I'd love nothing more to go back and do that again and try to win it. It's definitely tough, though. That is no joke. King of the Hammer winner. That guy is a badass. And Jason Shear this year got it, and he's an incredible driver, and he's got an incredible rock crawler.
Yeah, for sure. And before we let you go, man, I know you've started to do a little bit more with Polaris RZR. I know you got a few of them in the garage. I see a little bit of branding on the trucks. How was your I guess journey into the RZR life, as they like to call it? I know you and I talked, I think, at the UTV Worlds last year. You were thinking about maybe building one for a few races and things like that. I mean, how's the Polaris RZR adventure been for you, Rob?
It's been really a lot of fun. Last year, winning the Mid 400, we were fortunate enough to win a RZR, a 2-seater, and we take that out and have a good time. I have a couple 4-seaters, and we go out with the girls and my son, and we do that. I've got a lot of miles in them, have a really lot of good times with them, and yes, it's definitely, it's on my list to build one into a race car. Just haven't figured out the schedule. Being as busy as I am, you were alluding to earlier, I'm trying to build up RZRs now just to go out and have fun with, and just my time is so valuable, and not being able to get it done. But, I love racing those things. As far as bringing the family together, that's one thing I think it's really helped with us, giving us a time away from racing and actually still spending time out in the desert with the daughters and my son and having a good time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, good luck at the Mint this next week, buddy. I'll see you out there on Fremont Street, and let's here's hoping you can repeat as Mint 400 champ.
That's definitely the hope, and we'll have our Rockstar Energy Makita BF Goodrich Vision Wheel truck on display on Friday at Tech in the Vision Wheel booth. I'll be walking up and down, so stop by, say hi, and again, 3 bucket list things. You got Crandon, you got King of the Hammer, you got the Mint 400. Those are 3 of the biggest races that are all year. So please come check them out.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks a lot, Rob, man, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, appreciate it. Take care, Jim.
Thanks, buddy. All right, that was a legend, Rob MacCachren, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you, but you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the Amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at ImpactRaceProducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Well, welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Rob Mack, the living legend, always fun to have him on. Man, that guy is crazy busy. You look at that schedule, running in 3 different series full-time and throwing in all kinds of crazy events in the mix. You wonder when the guy's going to stop, but he's still winning everything in sight. Like, why stop, right? You say living legend, not too many people in the Off-Road Hall of Fame and are still completely dominating the industry, and that's definitely Rob Mack. But had some snowcross happening up there in Michigan. They were on their East Coast swing this past weekend. We'll get to these quick snowcross results, possibly, if my computer isn't going to continue to die. But we got snowcross in Michigan. But in addition to that, we also have some big GRC news we're going to talk about in our next segment, and definitely looking forward to that, man. GRC is completely changing their entire format of their series, and this one kind of came out of left field, and pretty excited to talk about that. But looking at snowcross results, we had Lincoln Lemieux taking the win, Tim Tremblay and Johan Lidman in Friday's pro final. Pro light, on Friday. Man, I don't know what's going on with the snowcross site. Maybe we're not going to get to these results, but I do have to mention my boy Kyle Pauline for Levi LaValle's team, Team LaValle. Pauline is MIA for the rest of the season, nursing an injury, but he is hanging out at all the events. But Jacob Yerk, he took the Pro Light win on Friday. Your other Pro Light winner for Saturday. Get to that in a minute, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we're just going to have to give you guys these results some other time. I think that's what is going to happen here because we got to take a short commercial break and our computer's running slow. So back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, normally joined with Amy Hood, but she has checked out to Mexico for the next week, so I'm holding it down on my own this week. But I did want to mention, obviously we made that announcement here in the next couple of weeks. She's got a new show called Wild Ones that's going to drop on Wednesday. So Tuesdays is going to be the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Wednesdays it's going to be Wild Ones. Thursdays is going to be my other show, Project Action. Project Action has its own feed on iTunes you can subscribe to. Amy's, though, her show is going to be tied in with the Down and Dirty Radio Show, the same RSS feed, completely different show, but it's on the same feed. So if you guys are listening to, and it's not going to be a live show where you're able to listen on Facebook or stream it. So if you want to listen to her show, the easiest way, you're going to be able to stream it on our website. It won't be live, but you'll also be able to go and subscribe to the RSS feed. And the easiest way to do it is just subscribe directly to the Down and Dirty Radio Show feed. Hers are going to slot right in there. So if you're not subscribing to us on iTunes yet, I guess I'm saying you probably should be. I don't know if listen to podcasts your thing, but hers is going to be a podcast, not a live show, and that's where you'll be able to subscribe. So definitely looking forward to that. She's going to have her own unique take on motorsports and action sports, and she's going to be doing a lot of interviews on the road while she's traveling with Monster Jam and at Supercross events and things like that. Literally, she's going to be taking her mic with her and slapping sitting down and slapping together some interviews with some of the best athletes in the world. So looking forward to having her take on podcasting. She's got her own unique voice, that's for sure, and I think it's definitely going to be a fun journey with her. So looking forward to seeing what she's got up her sleeve with that. But and once again, make sure and go over to iTunes, subscribe to Project Action, my other show, and follow us both on social media. It's at Jim Beaver 15, at Amy Hood 71, and don't forget our good friends over there at AMSOIL. They've got that AMSOIL Ultimate Indy 500 fan experience going on. And if you want to get in on that, all you have to do is go to AMSOIL.com/Indy. And we are going to take a short break, and then we come back. I believe we got Joe Duncan from Terracross on the line talking some power sports, but we'll have to see. There's a chance he destroyed his phone, and so I may be talking some GRC, pulling that forward a segment. But we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
They gained international success with their Grammy Award-winning song, Heaven. See Los Lonely Boys with featured artist Lisa Morales. Live Saturday, March 24th on the amphitheater stage at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Gates open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission now $29. $39 the day of the show. Or VIP tickets only $59. Tickets on sale now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Man, we got all kinds of stuff happening today. This is normally our Terracross Starts with Optimus segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, who start every Polaris RZR in the Terracross Championship. And all of my RZRs, phenomenal starters. Check them out at OptimusMotorsports.com. Joe Duncan, I don't believe, is calling in today. But so this whole GRC thing, we're going to talk about it in the next segment. I've got a private group here on Facebook. I'm actually reading Facebook as we speak because we're streaming live there. Some of you guys are tuning in there. Some of you all over the place. I don't know. We're all over the place. But I'm looking at I've got a private, or not a private Facebook group. I guess it is private. You've got to click and then you're accepted in, right? We've got like 400 members of it. We just talk off-road and motorsports. So GRC had their big announcement today, and literally like all these people in the industry that know GRC are commenting, and it's crazy, right? They're getting rid of supercars and all this other stuff. Well, I'm trying to get one of the people who is very well known in the industry, worked in global rallycross for years, to call in the next segment. So we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But we're shooting from the hip here, man. This is massive news nobody expected to drop today. So if you're a rallycross fan, if you haven't been to their Facebook or their website, like, it's massive news for Red Bull Global Rallycross. It's changing that sport in the United States as we know it. So it's just shenanigans right now. Literally, there's text messages, Facebook groups going on all over the industry. Nobody knows what the heck is happening, which is par for the course for Red Bull GRC. But we're going to talk about that in the next segment. But I just wanted you to know what was going on. We may have a guest the next segment. We may not. I don't know at this point. But we're going to try, and I'm going to try and dissect it best I can, because this PR that went out, it's like there's more gray area than there is black and white. So, yeah. But I got to talk about Polaris RZR Star Car for a minute. Like this massive news, and it's being overshadowed by everything else going on. But here in hour number 2, I've got my good friend Antron Brown and my new best friend Steve Torrence. These two cats are absolutely hilarious. Some of the best top fuel drivers in the entire world. They're used to going 330 miles an hour for a living, and they're going to be racing a Polaris RZR with me in the Mint 400 next week. And I had them out in Parker, Arizona last was Thursday, I believe, before NHRA Phoenix. They drove to Parker. We tested for a few hours, and it was absolutely a ton of fun. Getting these guys that are used to going 300 miles an hour plus in a RZR going 65 or 70 was absolutely hilarious. They loved it. They're used to driving in a straight line with no whoops, and here all of a sudden they're going right, left, whoops, jumps, happen to brake. It was so much fun. Both of them do have a motocross background. So, and Antron raced pro stock bikes before. Steve Torrence, he raced motocross before too. Now he's top fuel driver, but it's going to be a very, very fun experience at the Mint 400. I do have to say that. Like, we are going to have so much fun. We got a full press release dropping today. We got videos, we got photography, and this video, I got to tell you, this interview I'm going to drop here in hour number 2, you guys are going to laugh. Like, these two guys are the best of friends, and man, we got like a Harley going down the street outside of the studio, and I hear it echoing. I don't know if you guys can hear it through the radio, but some guys got, like, I've had, in 6 years of radio, the same studio, and I've never heard anything come through the walls. But there is something outside. This motorcycle has to be pretty rowdy, because the first time in 6 years I've actually heard something in the studio through the walls. So I got to tell you, man, I'm pretty impressed. I'd like to know what bike that is that I can actually hear in here in the studio. But that was this total side note. But, these guys, man, this interview is hilarious. They're the best of friends. They joke. They poke fun at each other. The social media that we're going to be dropping video today and over the next week, you guys are going to absolutely laugh at. It's good. It's quality clips, but these guys are just funny. And I think this whole story about, that's the whole thing about the Polaris RZR Star Car. You guys have been following me. It's to bring people from outside of off-road in. We brought Tanner Faust in last year, and you know what? Tanner came back, and he's racing. He raced Vegas to Reno with the Reese Mill, and he's supposed to race the Baja 1000. He's racing the Mint 400 again this year. Like, Tanner, he got so attached to it, like, he's full-time. Like, mission accomplished, right? Tanner Faust, boom, we got him. Jolene Van Vute, she's hooked. She's back at the Mint 400 with me as well. I don't want to downplay her involvement, because she is definitely back in the car with Torrence and Antron and I. We brought in Travis Pastrana. Yeah, he had done a desert race a few years prior, but we brought him in, and he loved it. So it's like to share the love of off-road with these people from outside of desert racing, and bringing in Steve Torrence and Antron Brown. I mean, Antron Brown, he's a host of Top Gear, and he's one of the faces of drag racing, and to bring him in and Steve, to race at the Mint 400, it's awesome. And they literally had such a small window. It was like the only event in their entire schedule that fit in, where they had a week off. And so definitely looking forward to having them in the car with me at the Mint 400. It's going to be absolutely a ton of fun. And these guys, I got to tell you, like, a lot of guys come in and they're like, they got something to prove, right? They're like, I'm going to drop the hammer and I'm going to, just destroy everybody. They talk their game, right? They're joking back and forth between the two of them. But when they got in the car, they rode with me first. I showed them what the car was capable of. Then I jumped in the co-driver's seat with him. I hate co-driving. Like, seriously, me waving my hand right now, hate co-driving. I don't ride with anybody, but I rode with these two guys, and I got to I got to say that I was impressed. Neither one of them ever got out of control. They never hit something they shouldn't have. I never had a pucker moment. Like, they came in, they assessed the situation, they slowly built their speed up over time. They didn't overdrive the car. They felt it out, and they slowly built their speed up. And I was thoroughly impressed with both of them. I mean, you know, there's definitely still some speed to be had and to be found. But these two guys, like, they're legit. And they're not going to tear the car up, and I think we're going to have a solid effort at the Mint 400. So very excited about that. Very excited to bring both Antron and Steve Torrence in. And Steve Torrence, I mean, he had personal bests in NHRA this past weekend at Phoenix. He won. I mean, he beat Antron. He beat Brittany Force. He beat Leah Pritchett, Schumacher, everybody. He wiped the floor with the field. And, I think he was a top qualifier as well. So, we're talking about the best of the best. Antron's 3-time champ. Steve's got over 20 victories. Like, we're talking the best of the best of drag racing coming to off-road. Like, I don't know any other point in time where that's actually ever happened. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about the videos to come out. And if you guys go to the Mint 400, and I know a lot of you tuning in are going to go, make sure and come and say, hey, we'll be on Fremont both Thursday and Friday. And Antron and Steve, man, they love talking with the fans and things like that. So I'm very excited about that. Excited to let them meet you guys and experience, the Mint 400. It's such an epic event, and I think it's going to be awesome to get their take on it, and and see what they think about this amazing sport that's definitely got its hooks in me. That's for sure. So we are going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And when we come back, we are going to dive in with both feet into this massive Red Bull Global Rallycross announcement. It is up at Red Bull GRC's website. It's on their Facebook feed. You guys can read it if you want to before we get to it on the show. But we'll be back after this with maybe a surprise guest. Who knows? Here in a couple of minutes on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% 10% discount.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I got a text in to one of my friends. We'll see if he calls in or not, to help me dissect this GRC announcement. He, like I said, he's somebody that works for works for the teams in Red Bull Global Rallycross for quite some time. He knows this business inside and out. We'll see. But so basically, cutting to the chase, I'm going to read through this press release. I read it early this morning. And I'm gonna reread through it while we're on air. I don't even know what to think. Everybody's just kind of laughing about it. Like, what in the world? So basically, Red Bull Global Rallycross, they're launching what they're calling the Gold Class to debut in 2018. The Gold Class is replacing the supercars. So yeah, you know what Ken Block in the past has raced, Steve Arpin, Brian Deegan, Tanner Faust, Scott Speed. Those cars gone. No more. No more manufacturers. Boom. Vanish. Poof. Up in smoke. Gone. Right? And everybody's going, well, what in the heck are they going to do? So they're taking the Lights class, which phenomenal pieces of machinery. I've tested them. The cars rail, right? They're basically we do have a caller. This is going to be my good friend Brad. All right. All right. Is this Brad Maka coming on to the show?
Yes, it is. How you doing today, Jim?
Good, buddy. I told everybody, I teased him, and I said, we may have somebody calling in to help me dissect this. And I'm trying to do this the best way possible. But, you know more about this sport than I do. I mean, I like to think I know quite a bit, but you are 10 times above me. But first off, letting everybody know, I mean, you worked with OMSE for a long time. You were one of the guys behind the Light series that helped it get off the ground. You worked for Fernandez Alejo there for a couple of years. Now you're with Lawrence Motorsports in the desert. But, I mean, you've worked in Red Bull Global Rallycross for years. So, I mean, you know what's happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be involved with Rallycross since actually before it was a sport here in the U.S. Before it was Red Bull GRC, it was just Global Rallycross with Chip and Brian there. And I was involved with Samuel Hubinet back in the day. And, it was, like you said, I've been around Rallycross for a while and kind of been fortunate enough to be behind the scenes and get a unique perspective. So I know a lot of stuff that's going on currently and has been going on for the last couple of years, and it's just there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Well, and I know you and I had talked about this new Razor division coming in, and and I think there's some potential there. But the big, and I've talked about that a lot, on the show in the past. But kind of help me dissect this new press release. So we got this new Gold class that's debuting. It sounds like supercars are out, which is a shocker to a lot of people. I mean, I think a lot of us have known kind of some of the things that are going on behind the scenes that we don't necessarily need to go into too much. But I mean, what is your take on this new Gold class? So it sounds like it's basically a Lights car on steroids.
Yeah, essentially it's a Lights car, not even necessarily on steroids. The documents that I've seen, they're going to change the bodywork on them, allow the teams to build their own suspension, like control arms, front and rear control arms. One of the big problems with the Lights historically has been the cost to run them, and kind of the lack of durability with some of the parts that we were forced to buy. So I think they're doing a good job here in letting the teams build, inexpensive parts to a certain spec. Like a control arm can now be made out of chromoly with a real uniball in it. And, you can reinforce the spindles and kind of reinforce some of the weak points in the front frame section.
Okay.
But the car itself is going to remain unchanged other than a new body kit and potentially a different muffler, so they sound different. There has been talk about upping the horsepower, and I wasn't involved in those conversations. I just know what I read, and knowing what I know about that motor package, there's more power available there, quite a bit more, maybe 10 or 15% more. but then you start worrying about reliability issues.
Yeah,
so
that was going to be my next question. Will the car handle it? I mean, we all know, especially in off-road, you can throw as much horsepower at something as you want, but at some point the drivetrain and everything else starts to go away underneath you.
Yeah, so these cars, the drivetrain is really stout. The gearbox, it's a stud-ev unit. It's the same one they would use, essentially the same one they would use in the Subaru supercar. They're built for big power. The axles are the same. The durability issue becomes in the engine itself with the valve train. Essentially, they're limited to about 8,000 or 8,200 RPM right now. You can run them up to about 9,000 and get another 30 horse out of them. But then the valve train starts to, the reliability goes down quickly.
Yeah. So, I mean, and my biggest question with this is like, I think a lot of people, first off, I mean, there's some lights cars out there. I mean, I know Dirtfish had a couple of them. Obviously, Fernandez had some. I mean, they're scattered around, right? There's lights cars out there, but now all of a sudden you've got supercar teams. Everybody's wondering, hey, are we still going to have Tanner Faust and Scott Speed and Steve Arpin? And, I think, one, people worry about the big names, and two, is there enough lights cars out there for these guys to buy and convert in time to make the season opener if they wanted to?
Yeah, I know there were, last I counted, there were 15 or 16 lights cars on the ground in the U.S.
Okay.
That number may have changed by a couple, but not very much. So, Fernandez has 2 cars. Dryan and Reinbold have 3, essentially. Reese has a couple sitting at his shop. There are 2 in Texas, I believe, still. That was the Parker Chase deal. The one up from the Detroit Racing guys, and then I'm pretty sure Dirtfish has 5 of them.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there may be 1 or 2 more floating around. I think there was one from Australia that was here. I don't know if it still is or not. But, so to have a full 10-car field, essentially everybody that already has a car has to, or has been active racing, has to continue that way. And now we're in March with the season starting in June. And I mean, that is a tall order to get that put together in that short amount of time.
Yeah, it's that was kind of mine. It was like, I think big changes, it's like somebody had mentioned we had a group, chat going on here live in the show, or I think maybe on my Facebook group. And, they were talking about, they're like, oh, a spec chassis like IndyCar, that's not a bad idea. And I said, no, not a bad idea at all. Like what Dallara builds for IndyCar. But I said, they usually give teams 2 to 3 years notice.
Right.
Not to say a spec chassis for GRC isn't a bad idea if you approached it like they do IndyCar. But I'm like, man, like, you got to give the guys a couple years notice to transition to it,
Yeah, and like I said, being involved from the beginning, I've seen the budget to run a supercar balloon tenfold, essentially. Like it is insane what it costs to run a supercar now in the current kind of FIA spec or old GRC spec. I know what the budgets are for the privateer guys like Arpin, and I know what the budgets are for the Volkswagen and Subaru guys, and back in the OMSC days, I know what we spent as the Ford factory team with Tanner. Like it is crazy how much the budget has gone up. I think trying to control the cost is a great idea. It's the only way to make it live here in the U.S.
Yeah.
The benefit that the Europeans and Scandinavians in particular have is that rallycross is something that they live for, right? Like it's like our kids play football and basketball, and you might have, maybe not so much in Southern California here, but all over the country, you go to a Saturday night short track race and the pits are full. Well, they don't have Saturday night short track. They have rallycross there, or stage rally even. So they have a pool of drivers that are familiar with the sport to pull from, where we don't have that grassroots thing here. So when the first step into rallycross here is $500,000 a year, man, it's hard to make that grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, no, I've seen budgets, and I didn't, and I've been out of the sport. I mean, I follow it, but I've got an idea. But I know, like, at one point, just the lights program, when it first started, was about $300K, to do the full series. And that was, like, first year or two, and I'm sure things now have definitely gone up. But Supercar, I have an idea what the budget was originally, and I know it's, like you said, with Andretti coming in, and Subaru is spending a lot of money, to be competitive. I mean, budgets have just, I knew it had at least doubled, but I had no idea, what number we're at. But like you said, the barrier to entry is so high in rallycross in the States now, and I think this new Razor division will definitely be a help. But it's, then again, I'm a Razor guy, but it's not a true rallycross car either. So I don't know. I don't know what the solution is here. It's just, this was an interesting announcement. I know a lot of us, kind of insiders knew something was coming. I didn't expect it this morning, but it was one I woke up to and went, wow, this is happening, like today. So yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's I think the the entry level Razor class is, and one second. Sorry about that. I'm here at work trying to get ready for the Mint 400. So and I don't think they haven't announced a price point, but you have to assume if the car is $14,000, by the time you do all the safety stuff and make it a race car, it's going to be in the $30,000 to $35,000 to $40,000 neighborhood. And I think that's much more palatable than a $200,000 lights car. And then the operating costs should be, essentially a tenth of what it is to run a lights car. So I think that is definitely a step in the right direction. And we all know what the UTV world has done for off-road racing in short course and desert. Like, it's brought so many more eyes and potential sponsors to the table. I think it's a great idea for the Rallycross series as well. So, I think it's the right direction. I just hope it's not too little too late.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man. It's, I think we all, we got a passion for, we definitely got a passion for Rallycross here in the States. We all want to see it make it work, and it's we'll see, man. Hopefully this is the best foot forward for GRC. Time will tell, that's for sure. So, good luck to you boys at the Mint 400, man. I know wasn't expecting you to call in. Stoked you did. We got to go to a commercial break though, buddy. But we definitely need to catch up soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll see you in Vegas, and thanks for taking time to talk to me.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Brad.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Brad Manka. He's also with Lawrence Motorsports there on the trophy truck side of things. We got Antron Brown and Steve Torrence coming up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We got that interview with those guys coming up after the break. But thanks to Brad for calling in. That dissects GRC, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We're going to cut to an interview I did last week when I had my good friend Antron Brown and Steve Torrence out in Parker, Arizona. We were testing the Razor Star Car, and we were able to catch up and talk a little NHRA and talk about this upcoming race at the Mint 400 that they're teaming with me about. The crazy thing is, this was literally like 2 days before Steve just took the big win there in Phoenix at the NHRA Nationals. So we didn't get to talk about his win, but big props to my boy Steve for bringing it home. But I think you guys are really going to enjoy this interview with Antron Brown and Steve Torrence. All right, so got Antron Brown and Steve Torrence. Just got done playing here in this Polaris Razor Star Car. I mean, you guys are used to going 300 miles an hour. What's your takeaway from this test session we just had?
I mean, I was absolutely amazed because I never knew that you could have comfort and stability over deep sections of whoop-de-doos, off-road, off-cambers. It was like the vehicle did all the work, and we were just like we weren't
along for the ride.
Yeah, we weren't even a rag doll, you know?
No, it was unbelievable just what the vehicle's capable of. You go out there and you see a couple whoop sections in front of you. They're 2-3 foot tall, it looks like, and you're hitting them 50 mile an hour and thinking, oh hell, here it goes, and it just sucks them up and it's smooth. And like AB said, it's like that 79 Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
You know it, with lay back.
Well, that's what's funny because I threw you guys in with me first before I let you drive, and I went, you guys, you probably know me from here or there, but you've never been in a car with me, and I know what it's like to be a driver. You don't like to get in the car with anybody. And I was like, well, I got to show you what this car could do, so I'm hitting stuff pretty quick, and I was like, I know there was one moment, especially I looked over at Steve, there's a little bit of a pucker moment. You guys had been going through your head like, man, what do we get ourselves into?
Yeah, I was looking at him, I'm like, I trust myself, but it's hard for me to trust somebody else.
I got out of that car, and I kind of skated over to the side. I said, AB, I don't know about Jim. Man, I don't know, man. This sucker here, he's driving faster than I wanted to go without me holding the steering wheel.
Yeah, you ain't lying, man. I kept on thinking, I said, Jim Beaver got me damned up, man.
No, but that's what I'm stoked to have you guys out here. I know we hit up Antron and then Steve, and it just slots right into the NHRA schedule. I mean, I know both you guys, race some motocross. I mean, after you've had some time in this, I mean, is there anything you can take from drag racing and apply it to this at this point? I mean, I know with the motocross background, there's some dirt there that you guys have been in, but I mean, what are you guys thinking about this whole project now?
I think the biggest thing for both of us is that when we have our discipline of drag racing, we have a respect for 12,000 horsepower. So I know when we came out here, it was a power issue. It was respect to figure out what the vehicle can handle. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think, just feeling what the car is doing and keeping your vision out on the horizon and just feeling in the car, because I mean at the end of the day that's what you got to go off of is driving by the seat of your pants. I can tell that by making just a couple of laps out there. So yeah, it's going to be a blast. I'm pretty pumped up and excited about it. And I think, just testing, I was at least half a mile an hour, maybe a mile an hour faster than AB.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? He's probably right about that on the slowdown.
On the slowdown.
Well, and I got to say, I haven't told you guys this yet, but so we start, and I think Antron's starting, Steve's doing lap number 2. With the draw, everything's in a random draw for start position, so they're like 70 in our class. You start 15th, AB.
Woo! They're the front.
Starting in the front,
Well, the goal of this is that we want to be efficient, and the main goal is I want us to get a good pace out there. And we want to stay to the front and just maintain. We just don't want to fall back and do nothing stupid, so I can pass off the torch to Steve and then let him go to work.
He's going to leave a lot of weight on my shoulders. The main thing I got is just to give you a car for the third leg that is still drivable. So I'm going to try to just bring it back in one piece and keep all 4 rubber on the ground.
Which I think is funny about this whole thing, right? Because you can get anybody from motorsport and you can bring them into off-road, and there's, and most of them are used to doing at least, 20-minute, races or this or that. And I'm like, man, we're taking guys that are used to going for like 3 or 4 seconds, and we're putting you into a car that you're going to be in there for like 2 or 3 hours. This is like, you're going to have more seat time at the Mint than you probably had in your whole career.
Pretty much. This is 10 years of our career in one race. But
I don't even know if I'm prepared to race this long. I don't know if my adrenaline will hold out.
I know. You got to remember, me and Steve-O are ADD. Okay? That means that we have to have a lot of bang for the buck, but them whoops kept my attention pretty tight. Trust me.
Yeah. I was paying attention, and I don't know. My old heart I'm going to have to do some exercising before the next couple of weeks comes up.
Yeah, we're going to have to do some calisthenics, man. We have to get in, like,
jumping jacks, push-ups.
Like sweat shape, you know what I mean?
Running in place.
Like white knuckle holding that steering wheel tight.
Well, talking about that, I mean, I know we were talking earlier about, crossover and stuff like that, and it just kind of sunk in with me. We were talking, and there was one spot where the rear end stepped out of the car, and I kind of collected it back, and we were talking about just kind of letting the car work. And then you guys were telling a story about Brittany Force from a couple weeks ago, and you were telling me about, at 300 miles an hour, how you guys have to, work through and kind of lift and let the car come back before you get back on it. And just right then, I'm like, we're talking about different speeds, and we're talking about whoops versus, tire hop and things like that. But I'm like, there really is, you start thinking about it, doesn't matter what you drive, there's something you can take and kind of apply it.
There's always a driver discipline, and that's something that in drag racing for us, we have to be quick. There's no thinking involved. You just got to do it. And the hardest part is your biggest learner is you learn from your mistakes. And sometimes our mistakes can be critical and big, and you have to learn from other people's mistakes. So when we saw what happened to Brittany, we was like, whoa, what happened? And we saw what happened, and we're like, all right, well, you put that in your data bank, and that's why you have to, in every form of motorsport, sometimes you got to be slow to be fast.
Yeah, and just slow everything down. I mean, it goes back to racing motocross or doing anything when you pedal the car out there at the drag races. I mean, it's trusting your instinct, and then just and being patient, and that patience is key in what we do, and being relaxed and loose and just taking it as it comes.
So that being said, I know we got Mint 400 coming up, but you got some, got Phoenix before that. I mean, what's, I know you guys are looking at the Mint, but we got the NHRA season just getting started, and that's kind of your guys' bread and butter. I mean, how's 2018 looking?
2018 is looking good. I mean, we didn't come off a stellar year like we wished that we had back in 2017, but we got another new crew chief on our team, joined the helm with Mark Oswald on our team, Brad Mason, and we have a lot of good things ahead of us right now. We're building some new good chemistry together. Me and Brad's been together since I started in 2008, so it's good that he's actually getting a chance to be a crew chief also. So I'm pumped. It's a new chapter in my life in racing, but I'm looking forward to this new chapter.
2017 for me was a stellar year, best year of my career. So
close.
Yeah, we were close, and it didn't end the way that we wanted it to, but just couldn't have been a better season. So coming into 18, we got a confidence that's unparalleled by any, and I think that every one of my guys have the same focus and drive of what we're going to try to do this year. We didn't start off the way we wanted to at Pomona. But it's still a long season. We got 24 of these races, so we're going to work on it. And I think that we don't change anything. We got all the same parts, pieces, and people, and we're just going to try to execute the same plan. And had things happened a little differently, we may have had a different outcome at the end of the season. But this year's kind of a redemption tour.
Well, one thing I found interesting about NHRA, and I draw a lot of parallels to off-road, and Kelly and Robbie both told me the same thing, from there at Impact. But, I've been to NASCAR, I've been to IndyCar, and there's a lot of, literally like lines drawn, this is my team, that's your team, a lot of guys. I mean, behind the scenes they might be friends, but it's really, very, there's a wall there, right? And, in off-road, it's really a family sport, and it's one of those where, we're friends, but we go on the track, we're banging doors, and then afterwards high-five and have a beer. And I look at NHRA and I see you guys, and I'm like, it's very much the same. You guys are racing against each other, but it's really, there's a lot of friends you guys are racing against in Top Fuel. They're competitors, but at the end of the day, you're hoping the best for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Like you never wish anybody any harm, and you're there to push each other and cheer. But the coolest part is that we really are fans of our sport. So we push each other, we love each other. But when we line up on the start line, brother, it's battle royal. And I know when I race Steve next to me right here, man, we bring out the best in each other. We push each other to new heights, new limits. And it's kind of unfair when you race other people because they don't bring that same kind of attitude out. I wish it could for me. But certain other people, like you still like you want to beat everybody the same and give them the same treatment. But I tell you what, this joker next to me right here, man, that's my brother off the racetrack, man. But he's like that brother that don't go away, man. You got to smack him every once in a while, too.
And that's very true. I step up. Sometimes you don't approach any race differently, but when you go up there and I'm racing AB and I know he's in the other lane, I bring the best I have, and he brings out the best in me. And some drivers, you go up there and you just want to crush them to make them look bad, and some of them you just want to beat them so that they can't talk no trash to you. And
yes.
I mean, we don't talk any trash, but we talk a lot of trash.
Yes, we do.
It is fun, and at the end of the day, we want everybody to be safe, come back and race again. But there's some people we just like to beat a lot more than others.
Oh, you ain't lying.
But I got to ask, because you guys, I mean, obviously you guys are close. You guys have a good time. I mean, some of the stories we've heard that we probably don't want to say on air, but I'm going, you guys have a ton of fun. How the heck did you two get linked up together? I mean, how did you become friends?
You know what it is that all seriousness is that I'm just a straightforward guy. What you see is what you get. There's no facade. There's no this or that. I'm just straightforward. And I kind of when I saw Steve-O, he always wore his heart outside. And you knew, when I saw him, I knew who he was. I didn't have to guess who he was.
No smoke and mirrors.
No
smoke and mirrors.
And me and him just hit it off because it's just we're straightforward individuals. We enjoy what we do. We have a great time. But then we can also turn it up and get serious when you get serious. And I have respect for him. He has respect for me. And I think once we hit it off, I went and hung out down there in Kilgore, Texas, right? He took a black man shooting, man. I was like, and let me tell you something, all the neighborhood was scared because a black man had an AK, brother.
But today was a good day.
I'm joking. No, I shot a 50 cal, man. I hit that gun, and I shot it, and it shut all the doors in the shooting shed, and the window fell down. I say, this is ridiculous. Hey, nobody should have a gun like that. This joke got a gun like that. I said, Steve, I'm glad you're my friend.
I said, AB, what'd you think? He goes, I'm the Black Rambo.
That's right.
He said, you can call me Bro Bambo.
That's right. AKA Rambro.
No, we have a good time, and I mean, I respect AB not only as just, if not the best, one of the best drivers out there. I think that the guy brings the competition level to the next level, and so I mean, he's. I started out last year, and I said I just want to be somewhere close to AB on the tree. I mean, that's the bar, and then we just have developed a good friendship. I mean, we talk on and off at the racetrack. Sometimes I want to kill him, and sometimes I don't. But we're always friends at home. We go away from the racetrack and talk about what's going on in our day-to-day lives and our family and everything else. And you run through life and you meet a lot of people and you have a lot of acquaintances, but you have few friends. And AB is one of my good friends.
Absolutely. This is kind of like that's Rocky, and I'm Apollo. That's the stallion right there. The stallion.
All right.
Adrian.
Well, I appreciate you guys, man. I got to tell you, I'm excited for the Mint 400. We're going to have a ton of fun out there. I can't wait to get you guys in Vegas and get a little dirty out there at the Mint 400.
Absolutely. I don't know if I can get any more dirty. I got ways to catch up.
I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a good time, man. It's exciting.
All right, thanks, guys. Man, oh, man, do we have one epic Mint 400 coming at you in the Razor Star car. Antron Brown, Phoenix NHRA winner Steve Torrence, a couple of total goofballs, man, but we are going to have a lot of fun. Both these guys, I got to say, did phenomenally well testing the Razor Star car. I was impressed. They talked their game. They talked their fun. But at the end of the day, both these guys are legit competitive race car drivers, and I think we're going to have one hell of a good chance to take a solid finish there at the Mint 400. So we're going to take a short commercial break. We come back. We're wrapping things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
All right, welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Wrapping things up here on a very, very fun show today. Antron Brown, Steve Torrence talk about a couple of goofballs and class acts and really, really good drag racers. Stoked to have them part of the team on the Razor Star Car at the Mint 400. Thanks to Brad Manka calling in to talk a little GRC. Lots of fun there. Good friends at Optimus and Joe Duncan. I know we didn't get them. And Rob MacCachren, Amy Hood. It's been one heck of a fun show today. Thank you guys. Thanks to Polaris, General Tire, Subaru, Vision Wheel, Casey Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, Optimus, Moto Shield Pro, Terracross, the Blue Resort and Casino. Give me a follow. It's at JimBeaver15 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook groups. Amy Hood is at AmyHood71. Make sure and subscribe over there on iTunes to my other show, Project Action. Listen to that on Thursdays. And Amy's new show, if you want to get a hold of that, you need to go and subscribe to the Down and Dirty Radio Show feed on iTunes. And when those start dropping, they're going to drop right into that feed on Wednesdays. So you guys can get locked and loaded right there with that. If you're looking for a coupon code for Dirtfish Rally School, it's JB Dirtfish. And don't forget, it's Amsoil.com/Indy to get in on the Ultimate Indy 500 fan experience from our good friends at Amsoil. Got the Mint 400 coming up next week. Man, it's going to be a big one. Razor Star Car, Antron Brown, Steve Torrence. It's going to be wild. Definitely looking forward to that. And thank you guys for all the support of this show by race programs and everything else. It's always fun here on Tuesdays talking with the online audience and Wednesdays the national audience. Be safe. We are going to see you guys next week. As always, game on.